Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Great to be here with you for our Friday review. Always excited to end the week with this show because I get to bring you a lot of my favorite things. And this week is absolutely no different. I'll be bringing you these new facial rollers that I'll be talking about a little bit from my time back in China quite a while ago for some of my internships. Talk about the different types of gua sha we used back then. And of course, I still use today as well. I'll be bringing you, instead of a book review today, I've got some free binaural beats that you can use anytime, and they're often played live throughout the day, which is a pretty nice find that I just found the other day as well. And I also wanted to bring you, of course, new research. So each and every Friday, I'm dedicated to bringing you 2 new research studies per week. And the reason I want to do that is that I want to make sure that maybe you're not combing through the research each and every day, but that I am doing that for you. And I want to bring you studies that I think are applicable to you, maybe now, maybe later, and also, of course, your loved ones might be suffering from these things as well, such as people with high blood pressure, asthma, osteoporosis that I'll be talking about today, right? So many people that we know suffer from those particular diseases of the body. But before we get into all of that, I always love to start with the updates from the week. And really just one major update that I wanted to talk about. Well, first, I wanted to welcome, of course, all of our new IHPs into our Integrative Health Practitioner Institute community. It's so great to always be able to invite 100 new students in per month. And so welcome. We love having you. We really do. And I look forward to chatting with you on this month's live Q&As. So I also want to talk about, though, and I have mentioned this on previous shows, we are launching, if not this week, most likely next, a brand new line of CBD. Now, for those of you who have been in this community for quite some time, you know that we were really breaking the CBD research back in late 2016, early 2017, talking about it right here in the podcast, being able to find the U.S. grown, right, small farms in Colorado and Kentucky that grow USDA organic hemp, like way before it was popular. How do we get that to you? We were able to do it. It was super expensive back then. We're able to do it at a better price now. And we're able to use new extraction methods. We're able to use vegan-based formulas. Of course, no artificial flavors, no dyes in our gummies, anything like that. You know that obviously we're dedicated to bringing you the cleanest CBD-based products now in the world. It's taken some time to get back there. There's no doubt about it. We had issues with banks and processors and people not wanting to essentially support the CBD-based movement. But now they almost have no choice because of how much demand there is for CBD. The only issue I see with CBD right now is that whenever anything gets popular, of course, companies move in, they get you the cheapest product possible, which is what we saw happen over the past couple of years, and then they charge, crazy prices for a very cheap product. So again, I've taught really what to look for. Just make sure, again, USDA organic, that you want full spectrum, that you want to make sure there's no dyes, that there's no artificial flavors, any of those things. And so what you get with our new CBD-based line by Equilibrium CBD, so we can't even have it by the same name of our company, believe it or not. It cannot be Equilife. So if you see Equilife out there, it is not our company right now. It is Equilibrium CBD is the new equilibriumcbd.com will be the new website. It has to be a totally separate company from Equilife. And that's okay. Again, like our dedication is just to bring you the best and cleanest products out there. These are products that I use already with my family and have been using, to be honest with you, even when we weren't able to sell it online, we were still able to use it in the private practice. So that's the nice thing, is that we were still able to do that. But of course, we weren't able to get it to people all around the United States. So if your state allows us to ship it to you, we will ship it to you. We cannot ship internationally. That is against the law. Some people do it, but we play by the rules of the law. So that's what we can do. So look for that. Again, if you are not already signed up at the Equilife or Equi.life for the newsletter, I would do that. And of course, my website as well. And you can follow along on Instagram too. It's Equal Life, although we can't post it, that's for sure. I know we can't post it on social media, believe it or not. So the best way you'll hear about it is on this podcast, or just check back at equilibriumcbd.com, and you will eventually see that website pop up. And when it does, there will be some pretty amazing products, our soft gels, our oil, and our gummies, as well as a pain relief rub coming soon. All right. So again, I'm excited about that. These are products that I never stop using, that I think they're absolutely fantastic for mind, for mood, for sleep, for balancing healthy levels of inflammation. It's a game changer for many, many people. All right, next up, let's see what is on my list. Next up is going to be our podcast. Actually, we have a promotion over at Equal Life right now. And if you haven't heard about it, is for a free bottle of our daily digestive enzyme, which is pretty fantastic. This is a $39 bottle. So this is a $39 value. Yours free with all purchases over $99. For complete details, go to equi.life. That's equi.life. That is the company that I formulate for, that I am the head of. But I have an amazing team that makes all of this happen. So that's a product that I use every day with lunch and with dinner. I take one capsule with lunch, one capsule with dinner. If it's a big meal, then I take 2 capsules. And what it does is it simply allows you to get more nutrients out of your food. So it's an enzyme that helps your body to better break down the food so that there's less bloating, there's less gas, there's less digestive-based issues. And again, a game changer for many people's digestive system. I started using it again with all meals 2 years ago. I wasn't using it before that because I didn't have bloating, don't have gas, any of those issues, but this is one of those products where I said, there's no downside. Meaning there's no downside for me to use an enzyme, especially with cooked food where you're cooking the enzymes out of the live food, and to help me with better extract nutrients from my food, especially as I get older. And so anyway, that's why for me, it was a no-brainer. I just said, sure, I'm going to take it every day. It's part of our daily foundation protocol level 3. So if you already take daily foundation protocol level 3 every day, like I do, then you're already getting your daily digestive enzyme. So give it away to someone in need, right? It's always great to be able to pay it forward. So any purchase right now over $99, you get a $39 product free, our daily digestive enzyme, while supplies last. All right, this past week on the podcast, just yesterday, we had Dr. Ernesto, Dr. E as he goes by. He is a medical doctor and a specialist in stem cell-based therapy. Hopefully you tuned into that show, because he is not someone that just talks about all the pros of stem cell therapy. And if I've definitely talked about stem cell therapy in the past. I believe in the future, not exactly right now, but in the future, it can be a really amazing thing that's going to help to extend life and also quality of life. But Dr. E, the stem cell guy, as he goes by himself, that's what he named himself, and which I think is fantastic, talks about all the pros, but also some of the cons as well. That was yesterday's show. Wednesday, we had a big show, episode 1853. One of the biggest hidden microtoxins right now in the environment that many people are consuming on a daily basis, what to watch out for, how to get it out of your system. 1852 was Tuesday's show, and that is why brain detoxification is becoming that next big thing. So you don't want to miss that show. That was a heavy hitter. And then on 1851 is what I consider one of the biggest things, mindsets, holding people back from even just getting started. And if you can't get started, you will not be successful in any of your goals. That was episode 1851. So hopefully you checked out those shows. And of course, today is episode 1855. So if you want to go to stephencabral.com/1855, you'll see all of the links for today's show. All right. First up today, in terms of product reviews, I've been looking forward to bringing you this. This is something that my wife's been doing for many, many years, and I see her doing it. We might be watching some TV, whatever it might be. I don't even know what we're watching at the moment, but she'll be using one of these face rollers to do a little facial-based massage. And again, I've been familiar with them for many, many years. We used something like this tool right here. If you're watching on video, of course, you can watch it on YouTube or just at stephencabral.com/1855. But what I'm holding essentially is a stone. Okay, so this stone is green that I'm holding. I use green jade. So whenever I'm doing gua sha, I typically am using green jade. Green jade, and I'll talk about gua sha in just a moment, and facial rolling, it's been used for hundreds of years. If we're talking about gua sha, it's been used for thousands of years, but facial rolling since about the 17th century in China. Now, I first learned about gua sha, not facial rolling, more than 10 years ago now, doing an internship in Beijing at a traditional Chinese medicine hospital. And I was there working with the doctors there. And one of the techniques we use for stagnant lymphatic fluid or stagnation in muscles is a stone. And we basically move the fascia. So we literally would drain and move that lymphatic system, or we would break up the fascia. So we'd either use it gently or kind of firmly if we felt a muscle knot or adhesion there. So many chiropractors, acupuncturists, some qualified massage therapists will use gua sha in their practice on your body to actually move stagnation. And it actually is very, very effective. It's fantastic. But today I'm talking about facial rolling, which you want to be much gentler with. So many of you already have been doing facial rolling, I'm sure. Some of you, it might be new. But what you're trying to do is essentially move the lymphatic system, move the lymph inside of your face as well, and help drain it of toxins. We've been talking a lot about toxins this week. And what you will do is use one of these tools, so one of these jade stones, and I'll go over the other stones in a moment, to simply begin to move the lymph and let it drain out of the face. The most popular stones to use, and they're very thin, are black obsidian stone, green jade, white jade, or rose quartz. A lot of people are using rose quartz for facial rollers as well. Honestly, any of them are totally fine. I've always used green jade since I got introduced to it in China, so I've always stuck with it, and it's always worked well for me. Okay, so if you are doing facial rolling, I want to give you a quick demonstration. You can use this roller, which has a larger side to it and a smaller side. For the larger parts of your face, you use a larger roller, and I always start with my neck. Here's your lymph. Your lymph nodes are right at the corner of your jaw, and you want to roll down to start, okay? So you basically, what I do for dry brushing and these things are 3 strokes, and then I simply move and I overlap that area 3 strokes, and I move all the way down, okay? And then after you've, why do your neck first? Because not everybody recommends this. When you're doing lymphatic massage, and this is what I was taught in China as well, you always want to move the area where the lymph then needs to flow to get out of the body, right? To drain out of that area. So you move your neck first, because everything in your face needs to move through your neck. Okay, so that's why you move the lymph here, just like you move your upper thigh lymph before you do your lower leg. So then what you can do is, if you're looking to tight and tonify the skin, you would actually massage up. So you move up, right? Because you don't want that sagging skin, so you move up, okay? So that's if you're looking to tone and tonify, and you do the same for the forehead. But when you're looking to drain, what you do is you actually use the small side of the roller, and you hold just the corner outside of your eye, and you move and roll in with the smaller side. And the same goes for the underside of the eye, okay? Then once you're done moving that, you can do that about 8 to 10 times, you will then take the side of the nose and the sinus cavity, which is right in the cheek, and roll out, okay? So you'll begin to roll out. Then after that, you can use the larger side and then roll down to this lymph node. Okay, so a circular motion in, and then down to the side of where this lymph is, and then drain that lymph again at the very end, okay? And you can do that obviously on both sides. Now, I like the roller, but I don't love the roller as much now that I've been doing it for a bit. So what I've been using is just this thin jade stone, and this is what's used in gua sha. And I do the same thing, but I'm able to apply just a little bit more force. You don't need a lot. You actually only want to depress the skin about 1 to 3 millimeters, and that's such a small amount. But I'm able to just get it a little bit more firm that way. And so I really like that. And then I can go up the same exact way, and you can go up to tonify, and then again, I can hold here and drain around the eye, so I can start to move all the fluid, especially me, that accumulates around my eyes, because I have no adenoids, I have no tonsils. Those were taken from me many years ago, and I'm someone who has a whole past of mastocytosis and allergies and all these things. And my face and my nose, and I've got these pinched sinus cavities. Fluid likes to be retained overnight when I sleep. So for me, again, I can just do simple drainage if I choose to. I have a morning routine that does not include this, but at night, I will do a little bit of this sometimes at night. And it's very healthy for you. It's excellent. So the last tool, my wife and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day that big, but she actually bought me this tool because I just started doing this because I said, why should she have all the fun? I'll do this as well if we're watching a little bit of TV at night. So this is a jade stone as well. This is a white-green jade stone. And I can use this if I want for the eyes and the side of the face. But really, this is just meant for your scalp. So it looks like a comb, right? So it's basically the teeth of a comb. But this is a stone. And you can do a massage for your scalp, which, again, just 3 strokes in all areas. And you can do your whole scalp. So if you want to talk about how can you bring more blood flow to nourish your hair, this is a great tool to be able to use. I will link all of these up today in the show notes at stevencabral.com/1855 for all the different companies that I use. But that's it. I mean, and they're not expensive, by the way. These are not expensive tools to use, and they've helped a lot of people with wrinkles and with puffiness around the eyes, and certainly, again, not a lot of downside to it. So hopefully that was helpful. Facial rolling is quite a nice thing. And again, if you have muscle knots and adhesions, you can look for a practitioner that does gua sha. And gua sha is spelled, how is gua sha spelled? I believe it's Guasha, gua sha. Okay. Next up, I told you instead of doing a book review this week, I always give you book reviews. I love to read. Still read this week. But what I wanted to share with you is a free resource because I'm always talking about binaural beats. My favorite for sure is still whole tones. It's been my favorite for like 7 years now, however long I've been using it. All those recommendations are at stevencabral.com/resources. So you can always find them there. But I've got a couple of free ones for you. And they're going to work best with headphones. They'll still work without, but binaural beats always work better with headphones because there's actually 2 frequencies coming out, one for the right ear, one for the left ear. And the entrainment of the brain is what puts you in a different state, meaning like between alpha and beta based states. But this company that I just found, or I guess channel, is called Green Red Productions. I don't know why it's called Green Red Productions, but it would be interesting to find out. And I listened to a couple of theirs because I wanted to kind of pre-approve them for you. So I'm going to link up the 2 that I've already pre-approved that I think are great. I'm sure they have other great ones. One is for happiness and positivity, and the other one is for deep focus and concentration. I think they're both, honestly, fantastic. Try listening for 10 minutes just in the background as you go about your business. Tell me that you don't feel in a better mood after listening to them. And again, the nice thing is they're free. So I'm going to do a future podcast on basically, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but Pythagorean-based math, that a lot of these frequencies, if done correctly and used correctly, can actually be divided down into 6s and 9s, and some of them components of 3. And in nature, this is what nature uses. And I know it's kind of hard to believe, but these frequencies are actually found in nature. So this is, again, with this Pythagorean-based formula. And the ones that I'm going to share the most with you are ones like 432 hertz. Again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, 528, but I want to be able to share what the different frequencies mean and how they can impact different parts of the body. So absolutely fantastic based research. I've been using them myself, even just anecdotally, and feel so much better with things like the 6, 7, 8 hertz from PEMF mat, and then also with my binaural beats at the 432, in even lower, 528. I'm telling you, these things really do make a difference. So I want to share that with you, and I'm going to share the 2 free YouTube links, plus that channel that you can get all of your ones, whether pre-played in the past, and I believe they do live ones almost every single day. All right, my last 2 for you today are the research. Let's see if I can pull my research out of my pile of papers here. There it is. All right, the crinkling of the papers. We are going to give you the little bit of a downer one first, right? Not the happy one, and then we'll give you more of that happy one at the end. But again, everything has a silver lining depending on how we look at it. So this one reads off this. Steroids, so think about prednisone, other cortisol-based steroids that are given for asthma, but other things as well. I mean, think about how many things prednisone is used for, is linked to osteoporosis. So this is done in a study where patients receiving the most oral steroids had 4.5, so 4.5 times higher odds, and 1.6 times higher than inhaled steroids. So this steroid risk has been known in other health conditions, but not for asthma. Meaning like steroids, oral steroids taken for autoimmune issues, inflammatory issues, have already been shown to cause osteoporosis, but not for asthma. As if like asthma has anything to do with it. Asthma is simply a symptom that this person has genetically because of an inflammatory based issue, right? Like that's how we need to start looking at things, is that this person's prone to allergies. This person's prone to asthma. This person's prone to rheumatoid arthritis. This person's prone to Hashimoto's, but it still has an underlying issue, which is inflammation, and that inflammation has an underlying issue as well. Anyway, I'm glad that maybe eventually they will finally catch on to this. So, if you take steroids orally for 2 months or more, ask your doctor if a bone protection treatment using biphosphonates is right for you. Though there are reports of osteochondrosis of the jaw and atypical fractures with them. Vitamin D and calcium may protect bones, but data are scarce. Here's the thing. You have a much greater chance, 4.5 times more likely, to get osteoporosis if using a specifically prolonged use of some type of oral-based steroid. So let's be cautious of that. Honestly, it's really easy to know why it happens. When you're producing more of those catabolic-based hormones, there's more stress in the body, there's more calcium breakdown. The calcium is used in the body to get you more into the sympathetic nervous system, to cause more constriction of the arteries. And like, again, this is very well known, right? It causes calcification of the arteries to the heart. And now we're seeing, obviously, it's pulled from the bones, right? Because that's, where else would it come from? Your bones are a giant depository of calcium. All right, the next one is this. And this is a much happier study. A flavanol-rich diet lowers blood pressure. This is from Dr. Gunter Kühnle. And the researchers there, this is out of, this one is out of, published in Scientific Reports, and it is out of University of Reading in the UK. The previous study that I just spoke about was out of Nottingham in the UK and published in Thorax. Okay, so researchers objectively measured indicators of dietary intake among more than 25,000 adults and found that those who consume the most flavanols, compounds that promote circulatory health, had lower blood pressure. Flavanols are found mainly in some fruits, such as berries and apples, as well as in green and black tea. Well, we just so happen to talk about flavanols just a couple weeks ago, and that was on episode 1831. So if you have not listened to that show, you have to go back and understand the different types of flavanols and how to get them into your body. And it's such, you don't need that much. It was 400 grams a day or 400 milligrams a day. So go back, check out episode 1831. We'll link it up today at episode 1855. But I'm telling you right now, all these plans that talk about fruits and vegetables as being bad for you, they are so short-sighted. They are not based on true holistic-based science. They are cherry-picked from individual studies instead of looking at the totality of studies and understanding that you need to get brightly colored fruits and vegetables in your diet. All right, that is it for today. I'll link everything up at stevencabral.com/1855 for your review. I will link up those facial-based rollers and gua sha-based tools, as well as those free binaural beat YouTube videos. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk with you tomorrow on our first host call of the weekend.